Excellent. All right. It's what is it? 8:02, and we call the meeting of the Police Department Building Committee to order on this October 12th. Believe we have a quorum. I see Mike out there. I have not heard from Paul Tully, so I think, but I usually will if he can't come in, and I haven't heard from Amy, and she'll usually contact us if she can't come in. So I assume they'll be on. They'll be on a little bit later. Jill will take care of the rest of the attendees. The usual cast of characters, and except we have Kevin, first selectman in the house. Good to see you. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Were there any public comments, Joe?
No public comments.
All right, let's go to the minutes then.
I think it's gone.
Hold on.
I didn't see anything.
I thought they were fine too.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you, Paul. Any second? Second, Jim. All right, motion to approve the minutes.
Yes.
Approved. Approved. General business and updates. Before I get started, before we do that, I did talk to Greg Riley today, or to me, a few days ago. He's out he's on vacation this week. Because I was going to have Greg be here just to talk about the press release. I think we've been getting some decent coverage out there. It's important, obviously, that the entire community, not just people that are paying attention, know what's going on. So Greg is on the case, and when he gets back next week, you guys have spoken about the timeline and all that, put it out the press releases and things like that. So that was something we sort of left open from our last meeting, and that is being taken care of. So
Do we have a date for the move?
I
Or is
think
it going to be a soft move?
I think it's going to be a soft move, and then the hard date is when we transfer the 911 system over there, and I believe that's the first week of December. That's the latest timeline that I have. We seem to be on track for that.
December 4th is what we're shooting for, but we'll make sure that we're going to make that before we send out some communications.
Okay.
we've been telling people Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah,
So
we say things, but people can start moving, detect it.
Yeah, we move things over,
yeah.
but once we move the 911 system and the dispatch there, that's the official date.
okay.
We have another meeting with Norcom to follow up with just all the changes that were made when it came up the last time.
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
So we'll have a better understanding when we can pinpoint that.
So we can have a big sign at Current Place about where to go.
Yes.
I mean, it should be.
Current and on Locust, it'll be the signs of both locations.
How are we securing? When we start construction, how are we securing this stuff?
Construction fence, so
So you're gonna have one in front too. There's a sign, gonna need to be a big sign on the construction fence.
It's going to be obvious that it's not an operating police station.
Right, but just like with the.
Signs
Where to go. And the sign would be where to go. It's be obvious that we can't go there, so it'd be directing them to 230 Locust.
So, question, I got a question from the public yesterday about the emergency generator. I know we're putting it over there. Is it there, or is it a temporary one? What's the plan on the generator for the street?
The generator is the portable generator.
Portable, that's what I got.
Yeah.
So it'll be permanently mounted. It'll be attached.
There'll be an automatic transfer switch. Along the switch, there's some of the switching arrived last week. We have a couple more parts and pieces that are going to come in over the course of the month, and then it'll be the temporary generator, but it'll be set up with an automatic transfer switch, so it'll be 100% seamless for that.
A permanent installation, a temporary generator.
Correct. Yep.
Immediate, so immediate, sir. We are.
Yeah, we are. So we were just approved for that the other day as far as the work goes for the installation. So we have everyone, Northeast Generator is on board to do that. So You want me to go into the
Yep.
update for
Yep.
39 Locust?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll start off. So the walls are all framed up, the electric and data is in place, the rough inspections are scheduled for tomorrow. So thanks to the China folks for doing that. We have state 911 folks and in Norcom laid out all their equipment. Even updated their plans for the power and the data. And then Norcom is coming out today to review all the plans of Turner and make sure we have all the parts and pieces and everything landed where it needs to be for them to come in. The company that does all the recording of communications is on board. The dark fiber was being pulled yesterday. I don't know if they were able to complete it, but Crown Castle is bringing that over to the 911 center. Police IT, Christine was on site yesterday confirming all the required data drops that either existed or were going to be added. There's a few for some specialty police equipment.
So we can reuse all the fibers in there for the school board.
So we also have the town's fiber, and we ordered another switch over there, so we have more capacity than the Board of Education had. It's live. Chris Kaiser put it on the system, so basically it'll be plug and play for the town. I'm sorry, for the PD's IT. They can start populating stuff now. Obviously, it's a construction site, so they can test if they don't want to put equipment over.
Sounds good.
Excuse me. Stanford Office Furniture is coordinating the final furniture move plan. We're meeting with the movers next week in the PD to just coordinate the move, kind of what to expect, boxing up stuff and when it's actually going to come over, what we're going to move, what they're not going to touch, what we're going to need help with, what people are going to need to pack up their desks, that sort of stuff. And like I said before, the generator gear is landed. The rest is scheduled to arrive this month, and we're 100% contracted with Northeast Generator for the installation. We also have Hussey Brothers. There's a little bit of excavation that's required in order to make it all get to where it needs to go. The ambulance generator is installed. It's being commissioned over the next couple of weeks, so they'll be separated. I'm sure you know on that, but if you're not, it's so over the next couple of weeks that should be up and we can divorce.
Or December 1st, we're going to be cut off.
We'll do it way in advance. That's really it I have for.
Joe, how about the radio communications? Again, it's both already in.
So the radio communications are part of the Norcom, what Norcom's going to do, part of their work.
They're going to install on top of the ambulance building instead of. How does that work? The antenna itself stays over there. So that's going to operation, even though the building's under construction, it remains operational.
Yeah,
It's not a primary antenna, so if it loses temporary power, it's fine.
Okay.
The rest of the antennas throughout town are for what's primary.
so we're also part, which I didn't really include as part of the 39 Locust project, but we are moving all the antennas over to Waving.
The equipment.
The equipment.
Oh,
The
sure.
equipment, not the antenna.
The equipment, yes.
Including the ambulance.
Well,
Yes.
So without getting into any specifics, I just want to make certain that all the connections between the police department and the schools are tested to make sure that they're going to be working and good.
in the
When that,
I'm not sure.
well, maybe I just don't want to do it on Bloomberg Public,
Okay.
so I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
As long as we're asking about these things, update on the sewer line connection from EMS to South.
Yeah, that's gonna be one of the first things we do, when we mobilize.
Okay.
Cause we can't demolish the existing one until we get you reconnected.
Or you can't fence the back of the PD off until you finish that.
It's really the south fence, so yeah, it'll be a removable section.
They have to be able to have ingress and egress for the ambulances while that's dug out.
Oh, yeah, The fence line hugs the PD building, so we keep that drive active. Right, we can't fence off the back because we'll have the road open. Correct, yeah, that's gonna be the first key we can do.
And then apparently the beautification league wants to remove the plantings from the front of the police department, save them. And I guess one of the one things they wanted to do was transfer some of those over to the EMS building.
Okay.
To keep them on the property. They don't want to do that until you finish the sewer project, so.
Just to give you a sense of the hierarchy, you can mess with the police all you want. You don't mess with the beautification league, right?
So the beautification league, we've been in conversations with them,
Yeah.
and you know, the Department of Public Works is going to help with moving of the plants. No, it's not a Turner thing, but so we'll make sure whatever plants they want to salvage and replant over there, we will.
There is a monument.
Yes.
Right on this corner there, and it's gonna be very close to the sewer line. And the element of getting that money, restarting their bill, don't mess it up.
Yeah, really nice for that. In the meantime,
Relocated. Right, when we did our little tour, you guys were talking about potentially relocating that.
Yeah, yeah.
Were-
for today, or from December 4th,
I think
until,
we go.
where is it?
During construction, it doesn't.
Yeah, where's it though?
I think it would go probably from EMS.
Just leave it on for this one now, yeah.
So roughly, any time frame on when you think that sewer project might,
I think it'll start, right, the first week of December.
first week of December, and it takes about what, a week, 10 days?
No, yeah.
It's pretty.
We won't disconnect you till we reach that.
It's not-
It'll be
I'm just
done.
worried about also the ingress and egress, 'cause that's their main driveway.
Right,
of
That's
course.
also
That's a pump line,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's gotta come up the hill, yeah.
But every time it needs to come in.
It's not a pump now, so where are you gonna put the pump?
The pump, goes in the EMS driveway.
Okay.
So, and I guess one other question I had has to do with reaching out to the neighbors one more time. When we have phone numbers, so we can get them right, we just want to make sure we have happy neighbors. And when we have the phone numbers that they would want, which basically is your 24-hour battle line, and Paul's number personally.
Take it. That call right to you,
Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
That's all I have for 39. Yes, so we need the emergency communication.
Is there anything new?
Yeah, I mean, this is still sort of the calm before the storm. We're bringing, a lot of the subcontractors on board, all the contracts. If I can pull something up here. So this is just our table of where we are with all the subcontractors. All the agreements are signed, but the slow part is getting all the insurance and the bonds. So that's what all this is. Some of them have just straight insurance, some have professional liability because they're actually doing some design work. And then others have some pollution liability, but demo guys and people like that. So our administrative staff behind the scenes is chasing all this down, but the contracts are essentially signed. So it's that residual paperwork that's ongoing right now. And simultaneously, Larry, who's on the call as well, who's our project engineer, has put together our submittal log. So every part and piece of the project actually has to be submitted on a piece of paper saying this is what we're going to use, and Brian says yes, that's what we asked you to use. So it's a very involved, long process, and Larry has started that. We have an overall log, and then we get schedules from each subcontractor. So it doesn't got to be weighed all plans on one day, which would never be the case, but we try and spread it out and prioritize obviously the long lead stuff first. steel being, probably the biggest concern right now. So that process is ongoing, and, then we're doing kickoff meetings with the various subcontractors, prioritizing obviously the guys up front, and, painting and carpet will be one classroom. So it's all sort of the get ready mode.
Brian, did you have anything new that you wanted to add for the committee?
Good morning. I think when we were in the design phase, we were doing 90% of the work, and Turner was doing 10%. We've kind of passed the baton now. So Turner will probably be taking about 90% of the work, and we're going to be overseeing with about 10% of the effort. So while we're throughout the project for construction administration, we're kind of following Turner's lead right now, and things are progressing well. We're doing it electronically. And I think as far as the move was concerned to 39, Joe did a good job explaining it. There's not a lot of construction, but there's a massive amount of coordination. But I think he explained everything that we're involved with, and anticipate the move to happen when scheduled.
So one question for Brian. Brian, can you remember, you guys were on the furnitures and pictures and just the carpet and everything. They were gonna circle back to us with additional selections. I just didn't know what the timing was on that.
They have made the selections. I need to get the hard samples in my hand, and then I can share them with you. Okay. And so has the police department seen them, or that part needs to be done? Like we had our subcommittee before that looked at it. Correct. We did change the carpet. I believe that the police department has seen it, but not a physical sample. But we also need to wait until the contractor submits on what they're actually going to be providing. There may be a potential for substituting that product. So once we have the submittal in hand, then we'll actually know what is going to be proposed. And that was what Ty was talking about with the submittal process.
And is it a carpet as such rollout, or is it more like a carpet tile?
It is all carpet tiles.
Right. You can walk in the building with your carpet.
Right, and replace it. Thank you.
Gene, did you have anything for us?
Just quickly, status budget is stable. No movement there. Soft costs are being tweaked minorly as we are about to engage our materials testing labs. That'll be part of the inspection processes that are supplemented that the town do not provide. So we're in the process of bidding that right now. We should have results back to Joe by Friday. The budget on the special inspector and structural inspector have been agreed to by Brian, structural engineer. And then, so this is the last piece of the soft costs that we're kind of plugging in for that, that work. Otherwise, all set otherwise.
And as far as the committee, when we presented to the Board of Finance and to the Town Council, the Board of Finance reminded us to keep our pencils sharp, as they should, and that
we've never let them get dull.
No, we haven't. But absolutely given us the proper messaging, and message obviously duly received.
Do we want to set a date for groundbreaking? Because it's probably going to be in December, and that's a really busy time. And
before the ground freezes.
We bring in soft dirt.
It's on the soft fire.
Or is it just legend? Yeah.
I can drop it over there.
Do whatever you want.
Joe, one of my favorite topics, the auxiliary vehicles. Have we made any progress there?
So we have target locations for them, and we should finalize that in the next few weeks.
All right. Well, wait, do we want to pick a date? Because like it'd be nice if we pick one when Stuart could be here if he wanted to.
Sure.
If you're traveling when you're going to be here, yeah. So I was actually, I mean, we could always, if we have to move it, we can, but. Is that a committee thing? Do we want?
Well, that's my question, does Greg coordinate something like that in his, expanded, role? I don't know.
He could help with it,
Right.
or whatever you want to set the date.
December 14th is a committee meeting. The week or so after we get the move completed.
Get a snow day.
Fine by me.
Yeah. What do you think?
Maybe.
December 14th.
Should we do it like 10 a.m.? We have our meeting at 8, right after, 9:30, whatever.
Immediately following. The light will be.
You have to kind of say it's gonna, can't be like, we gotta set a time because people are gonna go there.
I know, that's why I'm just saying, that's why I was picking 10.
That might be the.
10 sounds good.
10 o'clock, December 14th, we'll put that out there.
Is there anybody you wanna have there? Do you wanna? To get the police department excited about it?
Yeah, we'll our staff, put out our staff.
You say December 14th, was that?
Yes.
You're probably gonna be right in the middle of that.
Hopefully it's done by then. Sort of depends when you move and when we really start.
Yeah.
You're moving that Monday.
We don't have to publicize it for, we got a month before you have to publicize it, so you have plenty of time to see how the schedule is out.
Oh, yeah, I just thought we might wanna
Pencil it in.
pencil it in, if we have to change it, we have to change it, but I just know everybody starts scheduling everything then.
Is there anything else?
Any decisions pending?
No, just, the permit process is underway. Demo permit we won't get until we actually, finish our abatement. So we gotta get the abatement, get a claim letter and get disconnect letters from the subs, and then we'll get the demo.
Do we need, or do we have the state permission to do the curb cut and the sewer cut?
Yes, I believe,
We need a letter from the board. Do we have it?
We have approval of our plans, and then when he has the contractor on board, they'll finish the rest of the program.
And that doesn't take long, right?
The hard work was already done. Right, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was in place, it's been in place for a few months.
Yeah, the DOT has approved it in concept. They're waiting for the contractor to pull the permit.
If they also approved the curb cut for the new ingress, the new cut in front of where the generator is right now.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's the one curb cut that DOT has approved.
They've approved that one too.
Y and Jim. So Y says, we're all set.
The Y is, gonna open for the police.
Yeah.
That's very nice. Put that in the press release, near the Y, give them a little free publicity. Nice of them.
And we're holding our guests.
Working with neighboring agencies to confirm that, I'll have to probably get an MOU, probably signed by the first selectman and the mayor, with respective towns, but I'm working on that, finalizing that. What's, obviously we should run that by our council, who would take care of that?
An MOU with who?
A neighboring agency to hold arrestees, would that work be, what attorney, Doug Lamont?
Got it?
They've already agreed in principle, right?
Yeah, we said it.
If you,
There might be insurance, I don't know if there's insurance
That's
things or
after
stuff
that,
like
yeah,
that.
so that's all that
Yeah.
yes.
They were looking for 2 infielders and we were trying to.
I'm waiting.
Needed our lacrosse players.
Yeah. All right.
Move we adjourn.
I think that's a good idea. Second. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Penny, you're talking